Hello everyone, today we have here the Gamesir Tegenaria Lite. This is a budget controller and it doesn't have any fancy features. Apart from the two back buttons, there's not much to say about it. It is a wired only controller and it has a symmetrical layout. At least the wire is pretty long and you can connect it to basically anything. Ergonomically, it looks and feels a lot like the PS4 controller. The buttons have the Xbox layout and the PlayStation colors engraved in the center. The shutter buttons and triggers are different, and they follow the PlayStation 5 DualSense design. The two back buttons are very easy to press, and they have a similar design to the 8BitDo Pro 3. When fully pressed, the button stays a bit higher above the shell, and the position is very good. On the front, the home and capture buttons follows the design of the Pro 3 as well, but the actual start and select buttons are positioned right here. And I think this was a good decision. When you want to pause the game, it's easier to press the button on the top rather than the one in the center of the controller. The back shell is made of plastic and the grips have a nice texture. The face buttons are membrane buttons, and these are very polished. The resistance and travel distance is simply perfect, and it feels about the same as a DualShock 4 controller. The sticks has a plastic shaft and the controller has anti-friction rings. There is no internal restriction, so the stick will hit the edge of the shell. The D-pad is a membrane D-pad, but it's also very polished. It follows the PlayStation design. The surface is a bit concave, but the buttons won't sink flat with the shell. And there's a nice center pivot too. The shutter buttons feels the same as a DualSense controller. And the triggers are analog triggers, but they're also pretty short. And this was a genius idea, because it makes this controller perform well with any kind of game. It has the analog response for racing games, but it's also pretty short and well suited for fighting games or any game that you need a quick activation. There's also this M button used to activate turbo or remap the back buttons. It's a wired only controller, but it's still compatible with the Nintendo Switch. You just need to plug it to the dock of the console or use an OTG adapter like this. Unfortunately, it doesn't have motion sensors. And it uses the Xbox button layout even on the Nintendo Switch. But with a quick button combination, you can fix it. For the vibration, it uses normal rumble motors. And thankfully, remapping the back buttons and setting up macros is super easy. And it's also compatible with the Switch too. Testing on PC, it connects as an X input device, but you can change the input mode by pressing a few button combinations. Testing the stick, the dead zone is pretty small. There's no cardinal snapping, and the outer dead zone is also very small, almost non-existent. The circularity is perfect, and the stick resolution is pretty small with only 134 steps. If you want, you can remove the center dead zone with a button combination, and the D-pad is very good. The diagonals are easy to press, the input is consistent, and there is a nice center pivot. The dead zone on the triggers is a bit big, but I don't think that this will get in the way of your racing game, for example. You can swap the D-pad and left stick. And you can control the brightness of the LED too. The vibration speed is adjustable, and the combination to change the button layout works on PC too. Let's move to the unboxing and teardown. This controller is pretty easy to disassemble with only 4 screws on the back. And the general construction is pretty simple. The analog sticks uses proprietary modules from Gamesir. These are Hall effect modules. And the overall construction of the face buttons is the same as a PlayStation controller. Unfortunately, the trigger doesn't have a metal pivot. It's a plastic construction with a metal spring. And this design is pretty concerning, because with repeated presses the spring can cut through the pivot, rendering the trigger unusable. And here's a look at the face buttons and D-pad. Checking the latency tests on Gamepad LA, this controller shows some incredible results, with a super fast response time for the buttons and sticks. As for my final thoughts, the Tegenaria Lite is pretty impressive. It is a budget controller with a $20 price, but everything is very polished, from the buttons to the sticks and all of the functionalities. It offers a solid experience with a symmetrical layout, which is a bit rare in third-party controllers. This is a great controller for retro and competitive games. I definitely want to see Gamesir do a pro version of this one, with wireless connectivity, 2 extra shortcuts on the top, and maybe a clicky D-pad like the PS Vita. And that's it for today's video. I'll be leaving the links to the Tegenaria Lite in the description below. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.